from Stagg High School in Palos Hills, Illinois, Jones Intercable proudly presents semi-pro football action as tonight the Lake County Vikings travel in to take on the Palos Orland Force. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chip Egan along with Mac Lewis, and for those of you unfamiliar to him, he used to play with the St. Louis Cardinals, University of Iowa, a couple of Rose Bowl there, and was the Director of Player Personnel for the Arena Football League. And Mac, glad to have you along tonight on a beautiful night.
Nice to be with you, Chip. There's the kickoff.
Kick it off, and Orland lets this one go out of bounds, so they'll push this one back a few yards. Durgis doing the kicking for Lake County, and they'll push it back, or check that. Orland opts to take the football.
They're going to take it on the 35, Chip, out of bounds. NFL rules, I guess.
That type of rule cost Pittsburgh Steelers a few nights ago against the New York Giants. Yeah, they do spot the ball at the 35-yard line. Let's set the Force offense for you. Ken Drayton, along with Mauro Franzisi, are the tackles, with John Clark and Dave McAllister the tackles, Tim Russ at center. Bob Clefman is the tight end. Rob Lind is the quarterback, with Darren Jones, Jeff McSherry, the running backs, Dave Williams, and Don Stramalia at wide receiver. First and 10 at the 35. And off comes to Jones. Picks up 4 yards on the play before he's brought down. Tackle made by Bob Akers. Setting the defense for you, Alan Plock, Dwayne Keener, Eric Glover, and Randy Jones are the front defensive 4. Larry Bobo is the cornerback. Daryl Thorne, Steve Chester, and Steve Peacock are the linebackers, with Steve Borzik and Bob Akers, who made the last tackle, at safety. Second down and 4. Leading to throw, incomplete.
That was intended for Don Stramalia, Chip. Probably a fellow who's been playing in this league for about 12 or 13 years, I imagine. One of the best ever to play here.
Guy was someone that we were told to look out for.
His dad's the coach on the Orland Force, Palos Orland Force.
You tend to see a lot of action when your dad's a coach. You get a lot of chances.
Well, he doesn't need that, though. He's a superb athlete.
He's got some talent, and he's number 5. He's split wide out to the right. Larry Bobo guards him. Third down. Call it 7. Ball at the 37-yard line. Lind to throw. Incomplete once again for Stramalia. Bobo on the coverage, and that brings up 4th down. And Orland will kick it away.
That's intended for 5. Don Stramalia, covered by Bobo.
Understand these teams played 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the Force won 14-2.
Tough game. Orland undefeated at this point right now. 8-0 in the conference, 9-1 overall, 6th ranked in the nation. Lake County comes in at 4-4, 7-4 overall. This is a punt. They'll let this one drop. Finally taken at the 28-yard line.
That was Ruiz, number 85.
Tackle by Dan Von Holt.
Von Holt on the tackle, driven out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and Lake County will start up from there.
Ruiz.
Dave Williams on the return.
Offensively, the Vikings look like this. The tight end is Rick Starosta. The tackles, Julian Tucker and Steve Hofflander. The guards, Gary Higginbottom and Mike Hilty, with center Wes Quist. Quarterback is Brian Horn, with the fullback Stu Sale, and Brian Lockman, at the running back. Jerry Nash and Frank Ruiz are the wide receivers.
Force have only given up 2 touchdowns this year, so we'll see how the Vikings do again tonight.
First and 10 at the 36. Straight up the middle, maybe a yard. See where they mark it. No gain on the play. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Let's set the defense. Ray Novickus, Dan Van Holt, Scott Anderson, the front 3. Ed Jones, Matt Sorahan, Rich Carter, Scott Klepser are the linebackers, with Ed Jordan and Steve Franzisi are the cornerbacks, with Dave Gierlach and Mike Novickus at the safety positions. 2nd and 10. Give us to Lockman. Maybe a couple of yards on the play before he stopped.
Little off tackle on the right side. About 3rd and 5.
So both teams starting out rather slowly here. Mac, no one really getting off the ball. Somewhat cold night, but I would imagine by this point in the season, guys are going to be pretty used to it.
This is a night a football player loves, Chip. You don't feel this little bit of chill, and you get loosened up, which takes just a couple minutes. We'll see them air the ball out, I'm sure.
I'll tell you, you've had your fair share of cold games. University of Iowa, they have a tendency to have cold weather there.
It's funny, I never remember playing in real cold weather, though.
Pitch comes outside. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage, running on the play.
He was tripped up by Scott Klepser, number 50.
So the Vikings will have to punt it away. Frederick comes in to do the kicking. Darrell Taylor drops back deep for Orland. He stands at his 25-yard line.
Taylor, deep to receive.
Frederick will kick, and penalty flags fly. And a good kick by Frederick. Taylor at his 27-yard line. Brought down from behind by Bob Akers. But let's check the penalty.
There is a flag on the play.
It's probably illegal procedure, I imagine. Motion. It's against the Vikings. They're bringing it back. Or will they? Maybe not.
We'll have to see. They'll discuss it with the Orland team captains. And it looks like they will re-kick. They're going back to the original spot.
Number 4 back for the Forest. Darrell Taylor is a veteran of arena football and again has played in this league for semi-pro football many years. Out of the Joliet area, I believe.
I'll tell you, that was a pretty interesting league for a while. We had a chance to go to the Arena Bowl a few years ago with the Chicago Bruisers and the Detroit Drive.
Yeah, Chicago's been out of it. The league seems to be doing very well right now. I was not involved last year, but they're adding teams all the time.
Frederick at his 16 gets it off despite a good rush. And Taylor does take it at his 27. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line before he's brought down. Wes Quist leads the charge. He was also helped out by Daryl Thorne.
Never ceases to amaze me, Chip, the dedication these, I always say kids, they're young men and some of them older men, to come out and practice 2 or 3 times a week and play these games for absolutely nothing. In fact, it usually costs them money to play each year.
Sure does.
Some of them just stay with it year after year after year. That's really love of the game.
These guys got to buy their own equipment at times, shoulder pads, helmets. Funding is scarce, but these guys, for the love of the game, always come out. Change at the line of scrimmage. Leaned on an audible. He'll drop back to pass. Incomplete. Pass intended for Clefman, but in and out of his hands. 2nd and 10 coming up. Interesting alignment there, too.
It's unusual. Clefman's one of their top kids. Not going to see him drop many like that tonight. One of the biggest players on the field, too. Tallest, anyway.
Clefman comes in, 6'6", 255 pounds. Grand Valley State was his college. Lind is 0 for 3 tonight in passing. 2nd and 10. Quick pop over the middle. Clefman on the reception.
About a yard short.
Got to the 45-yard line before he was brought down on the play. Steve Chester from the linebacker position comes up to make the tackle for Lake County. We talked about it. A lot of these guys, they have other jobs that they have to do, have to perform. Sometimes it becomes tough to show up for games because of your job, some of the traveling, and it's not really area that you have to cover. A lot of times you've got to head out to St. Louis, you've got some traveling, Gary, Indiana. These guys have some hauls ahead of them to come out and play football games.
It's time and money out of your own pocket. It's true dedication.
3rd down and 2 at the 45-yard line. 10-12 left in the first quarter. Lind to throw, has a receiver, it's caught. Stramalia gets out of bounds at the Lake County 35-yard line, picks up the first down.
Stramalia came down about 10 and just hooked, and his man let him go. Nice grab by Don.
So the Force pick up their first down of the evening. As they get to the 36-yard line officially is where the referees mark the ball. 1st and 10, they move the chains. No score if you're just joining us from Stagg High School, Palos Hills. Paul Panazzo in motion, checking into the ball game.
79 jumped off. That'll be 5 against the Force.
Flag on the play.
Mauro Franzese comes offside, and they'll push this one back.
Offside, Palos.
I would expect that we could see a lot of that pretty much through the evening because of the fact that these guys don't practice on a daily basis.
That's a good point. Timing is one of the most difficult things to come up with when you only work out twice a week.
Dwayne Keener for Lake County, one of the defensive linemen, number 77, one of the technicians at Jones Intercable in the Libertyville system. He was really fired up about tonight's game. League leader in sacks right now. He hasn't had a chance to get to Lean so far. Quick passes. Lean is thrown.
Blitz.
To the outside. The pass is complete. Caught by McSheffrey. And he picked up a few yards on the play.
Good coverage by number 41. I don't have a number on him, or a name, I should say. But did a nice job. Had a blitz on there, the Vikings. If number 40 had gotten around the outside here, he might have picked up 25, 30 yards.
2nd down, call it 14 yards at the Lake County 40-yard line. Dave Williams splits out wide left while Don Stramalia comes wide right. Lind once again. And it's
David
complete.
Williams. 56, he's gone.
Touchdown, Orland.
Just a little slant in, Chip, and he's gone. Nice pass by Lean.
40-yard touchdown pass from Lean to Williams. And Orland gets on the board with 8:23 left in the first quarter. 6-0 Force.
You know, Chip, many of these players are out here with a dream, and I was just thinking back when I was coaching with the River Grove Cowboys back in the mid-'80s, we had a center by the name of Mark Rodenhauser, who for the last 5 years has played in the NFL as a deep snapper. That was good.
The point after is good. Kurt Baldiga with the extra point, and it's 7-0 Orland.
Palos Orland 4-7. Lake County Vikings.
You know, I bring that up about a dream and guys wanting to play. And one of the things I find interesting is that now, because of expansion with the World Football League, arena football, you had mentioned, that's still continuing. There's a lot of options now, although still limited in terms of how much or how many guys can actually make it to those teams. But the options are now greater to get into football as opposed to just the NFL, and that's it. Now with World Football League and arena football, these guys have more chances, and a possible spring league I hear is coming up.
No question about it. I had a couple of kids come up to me on the field today that remembered being at arena football tryouts. You know, the younger ones still have that dream. Some of the older guys out here, 30, 32, 34, they're just playing for the love of the game. There's no hope for them, but it's good to see opportunities for all the college players to come out and have a different place to go. You look down these rosters and see kids from all over the country, usually smaller schools, playing in semi-pro, just looking for that opportunity to continue.
Bob Lukanski will do the kicking for the Force. And it's a short
one. Picked up by a
one.
lineman.
They pitch it back. Rodney Coleman falls on it. There's a penalty flag down.
It was probably a face mask. Those offensive linemen are always smart. Guy picked up the ball, knew when to lateral, Good play.
So Rodney Coleman.
Guess what position I played, Chip?
I take it somebody that didn't handle the ball too often?
Well, I was an offensive lineman. That's why I'm saying they're so smart.
Now they're going to sort it out. The officials getting together. And the indication is an offside on the kicking team, and now a face mask.
Imagine they'll take the face mask and the ball right here.
Didn't happen to see a marker over here.
I didn't either.
Down on the other end, but one of the indications was the offside call, and then he indicated a face mask. And the officials are still discussing it. Brian Horn having the play told to him, and they will take the face mask penalty.
Penalty, face mask.
So a first down for the Vikings, who find themselves down 7-0. 8:11 left to go in the first quarter. 40-yard touchdown pass from Lean to Williams.
34-yard line.
So far is the difference in this one. But we're early yet. A lot of football left to be played.
Talk about love of the game. I understand one of the owners on the other team is Rick Starosta. I remember Rick played years ago with one of our teams, and we played against him many times. In fact, he dated one of my daughters at one time. He's in it, owning a team just so he can keep playing.
Rick's been with this for a while, too. A couple years back. Had a chance to see him against Gary. Incomplete. Horn's pass floating to nobody. In fact, the closest guy was Mike Novickus. The Viking receiver that was in the area was Jerry Nash, but he was a good 7 yards downfield from where the pass was. Some miscommunication there.
Yeah, there's a little mishandling of the snap, too. I think the timing was thrown off right there.
This brings up second down and 10. Been a virtual air attack by both teams so far. Brian Lockman.
Deep man in the eye, right off left tackle for about 8 yards there.
Got to the 39-yard line. Max Sorgon on the tackle.
Tackled by Sorgon.
3 yards short of the first down. Third down and 3. Interesting call for the Lake County coaching staff. Third down and 3. Ruiz splits wide left. Nash wide right. They try to go up the middle with Marvin Jackson, but that play is stopped up at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Jackson. No gain on the play.
Fourth down coming up. Excellent defensive pursuit by the Force, and they've been playing well tonight. They haven't allowed too many big gains. No gains, I think, over that 7-yard pickup earlier.
That was the only play they had any kind of a hole at all. Now they have a good, strong defense, which is the main ingredient in football.
Friedrich will kick it away. Darrell Taylor drops back deep.
Right.
Good kick. Drives Taylor back to a 16-yard line.
One block.
Able to get to the outside. Friedrich, the last man. Great return.
One block and he would have been gone. Kicker got him.
Darrell Taylor brought down at the Viking 39-yard line. Friedrich forced him back inside, slowed him up. Some other defensive pursuit helped out, but Friedrich will get credited with the tackle.
45-yard return, Chip. Very nice. Sets the Force up here to go in and
Return, Darrell Taylor.
get a second touchdown.
Again, we go back to the fact that since you don't have the ability to practice 5 nights a week, such things as special teams coverage and how to play it may be neglected a little bit, as opposed to the fact that you could go 5 days a week practicing on it.
That's a very important comment because the way football's set up today, special teams is a third of the game. Defense, offense, and special teams.
Kansas City Chiefs and Houston can attest to that.
Quick pop by number 32, Darren Jones.
Jones on the carry.
He picks up a couple to the Viking 35-yard line. 2nd and 6 coming up. The Force undefeated in conference play at 8-0, 9-1 overall in the season. 6th rated team in the nation.
For a fly pattern to Stramalia here. It looks like it's all set up.
Lynn rolls out right, throws it over, has Cleffman. That'll be good enough for the first down to the 24-yard line. Tackle made by Larry Bobo.
Tackle by Bobo.
It's a case where Stramalia went deep, cleared out, and the tight end came across, and
Gain of 12.
nice rollout by the quarterback, Lind, and first down.
Impressive move by Lynn, too, to fake the handoff going left and then rolling back out to his right side.
Yeah, he seems to have pretty good foot speed.
First and 10 Force.
And quickness more than speed is what's important for the quarterback right there.
Mobility at the quarterback position, really a big quality for a team. If they can get a guy that can move around, it's a great asset for your offense. Cross handoff, Darren Jones takes on Larry Bobo and picks up maybe a yard after the hit, but he gets inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
There's a play that goes back to when I was playing football, the old crossbuck.
It's a play started all the way from junior football as well.
Yeah, it's probably one of the classic plays in football. Just made a penalty here, though. Guess we both missed that.
They drive this one back on the Force, a holding penalty.
Holding.
Those crossbuck plays like that, the offensive line really has to come off and get a big opening because that tends to take a little bit in the backfield. It's not a very quick
except
play.
it's much closer to the line of scrimmage than the I formation they use today, where you have guys 6, 7, 8 yards back. These players aren't quite as quick as the guys we see on Sundays, though.
1st and 15. Lean drops back, floats one into the corner, incomplete. Stramalia, the intended receiver,
Stramalia.
overshoots him, however. Jim Cooper on the coverage for the Vikings.
By Cooper.
Lean throws a pretty nice football. He's got a nice tight spiral on it.
Yeah, he has, they seem to have a fairly decent pass offense here. That was a little overthrown there. Actually, Stramalia was open, but the tough pass to hit in that.
Their offense has been about 95% pass this evening, too.
15 from 30.
We have Darrell Taylor wide left, right, and David Williams wide left this time.
2nd and 15. In the air. And it's incomplete. Broken up beautifully by Larry Bobo. Pass was intended for Taylor, but Bobo got there in time to knock it down.
Somebody had a bad pattern there, Chip. We had 3 guys in the same area for the home Force that time.
Trying to get it over the middle. A lot of white shirts.
3rd and 15.
There, too, considering the fact that these guys don't make it a year-round, or considering the amount of time that the NFL plays, how long they play. Quarterbacks may have a tendency to stick with a primary receiver a little bit. Maybe not check off as often or be as heady about what goes on. Lean's a good one. That one just try to get it in amongst too many white shirts, though. To the air once again. Lean complete to Cleffman. Short of the first down, however.
Reception by Cleffman.
And we'll see what the Force coaching staff wants to do here.
Notice on the field, Baldiga was hitting from about the 35 with pretty good regularity, so I would imagine they'd kick here. I see he is on the field.
4th and 4.
Don Stramalia is the holder.
He'll kick it from the 25-yard line, so this will be a 35-yard field goal attempt. Force lead at 7-0. 3:10 left in the first quarter. He's got the distance. Just short.
No good.
Had the line. Looked like it might have gotten there, but just short. Vikings to take over.
Notice the Vikings kicker was about 15, 18 yards longer than the Forces kicker during practice, which doesn't mean a whole lot because you have nobody coming at you.
Vikings will take over at their own 18-yard line.
Baldiga, the field goal kicker from Marist High School and Illinois Wesleyan. Marist, not a bad football background. They tend to have some decent teams in that East Suburban Catholic Conference.
They're having a pretty good year this year, aren't they?
Not too bad. Not too
followed
bad.
the high schools quite that much.
They came up our way in Mundelein, dropped a game to Carmel High School, had about 9 or 11 players, I believe, that were starting and did not suit up. Both ends, offensively, defensively. That doesn't help your ball club too much. But they're having a fine year.
Speaking of that, I guess the Force tonight is missing 4 or 5 starters on each side of the ball.
But like we had mentioned before, a lot of times you get work schedule, things like that. Maybe a family commitment sometimes that enters into the fact that you might not be able to make it out to these ball games.
You'd be surprised, though. That doesn't happen all that often. The football seems to come first with these guys. A lot of families in the stands, usually little babies, mothers, fathers, grandmothers.
Kind of like guys that play softball on a regular basis.
That's
You got to
right.
get your priorities straight.
That's a great analogy.
3:06 left in the first quarter. It's been a long quarter because of a lot of passing, a lot of incompletions and clock stoppage. At the 20-yard line. Flags fly in the air. Hand off to Brian Lockman, but he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Let's check the flag, though.
86 Ray Novickis jumped offside. Looked like he had time to get back if he hadn't kind of stood there watching.
Yeah, they seem to jump offside, then just kind of, whoops, you know, I should have done it.
He got angry himself and didn't move back.
Well, the Vikings will be more than happy to take this one because that play was dropped for about a 3-yard loss. Instead, they pick up 5 yards, 1st and 5.
Strange game this is. That could just be what the Vikings need to get a little drive started here, too.
1st and 5 for the Vikings.
They have to get something going. Their offense has been somewhat stagnant so far. Haven't been able to mount any type of drive. Horn in a shotgun, the first time we've seen that tonight. Starosta and Nash split wide right. Ruiz left. Horn under pressure. Brought down, but you've got to credit good defensive pressure. Scott Klepser, number 50, coming from the outside, forced Horn back in, and the sack was finally made.
Yeah, that play never had a chance to develop at all. Very good job.
3-yard sack on the play. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for the first. Rodney Coleman comes in for the Vikings at wide receiver. He's far left. Again, Starosta and Nash split to the right. Bad snap over the head of Horn. He just has to dive on it.
I think he's just in the end zone.
Let's see what the official says. Just on the 1-yard line. That was dangerously close.
That was a fortunate spot.
The snap by Quist flies over Horn's head. And fortunately for the Vikings, Horn able to down it at the 1-yard line.
That's a center's worst nightmare. I used to worry about that every night before a game.
Imagine the quarterback can't be too thrilled when he sees that ball coming up over his head either.
Of course, we didn't have a shotgun when I played. It was always the punting situation. And I wasn't that good a snapper, but I never threw one over anybody's head.
I've seen that happen a lot from the shotgun. Snaps over the head, snaps that just dribble across to the quarterback.
It usually results the center's concerned about his man in front of him. And
Vikings with a very conservative play just to get some breathing room.
that's it, just enough to get the punt off here. They've got about 13 yards for their punter now. You normally set up at 15.
4th down.
So the Force will have some good field position unless Friedrich gets off a booming kick. Taylor steps back to the Viking 41-yard line to receive the punt. That's Sorgan in front of Taylor. He stands at the 25. Friedrich from his end zone. And he does get off a good kick. Taylor at his own 46-yard line. Flags fly. Taylor brought down from behind at the 44-yard line.
If they call a clip on that, that was a good block. I don't know what he...
Tackled by Thorne.
That ball was about 60 yards in the air. That was quite a punt.
Well, I'll tell you, Friedrich really got themselves out of some problems there. The ball sitting at the 2-yard line, him kicking from virtually the back line of the end zone.
That was the old blocking in the back that we see in the NFL games. Almost every kickoff and punt, it seems, these days.
We go back to what we were saying before about lack of practice time with your special teams and the fact that you can't single them out very often through the course of a week and run as many drills or have as much time with them as you'd like to try to eliminate problems like that.
Of course, that's a penalty you see most frequently in the NFL, though, Chip. It's just usually the guy you're getting ready to block turning his back on you and the referee picking up it right at that time. And it seems like every kickoff there's a penalty.
First and 10 from the 46.
Forced to start at their 46-yard line. This is where Taylor caught the punt.
Jones for no gain.
Might have even lost a yard. Keener comes flying in to help out in the tackle. Dwayne Keener, technician and football player. Hasn't missed a day of work either for the cable company because of it.
Which number is he, Chip?
77.
Keener. I understand the Force has not here tonight, a player that's also a Jones Tech.
Yeah, it was unfortunate they couldn't make it tonight. But that play ends the first quarter. The Force lead it 7-0. After one quarter of play, we'll have the second quarter when we come back right after this.
Order a movie from Pay-Per-View, and you can enjoy first-run features without ever leaving home. Rent a movie from a video store, and you not only have to pick it up, you've got to bring it back. Pay-per-view. Without it, you'll go far.
Force lead it 7-0. Lynn, incomplete, tried to get it to the outside. Todd Crayley got a hand up. He was close to that, coming away with that one.
Incomplete.
Yeah, it was thrown over the wrong shoulder and awful close to being a lateral. It was barely a forward pass.
Before we took the break between quarters, we talked about Dwayne Keener, technician for Jones Intercable. John Arp, who is not here, who plays for the Force, is a technician for the system out this way. Dwayne's a little bit unhappy about that. Gets a little bit of chatter going between the two about tonight's game. 3rd down and 10. Lead with a lot of time. Fires one over the middle, incomplete.
Incomplete.
That one intended for Dave Williams. 4th down now.
It was a case where Ackers, number 4 on the Vikings, was more concerned about the receiver and missed. He would have had an interception if he'd been looking. He's ready to lay the lick on him when he caught the ball and missed the INT.
Wonder how often defenders think about applying that hit when they see a receiver start to go over the middle.
It's a big part of this game.
Fake punt. They get it to the outside. The pass is complete. Ed Jones on the reception. 1st down on the trick play. Ed Jones inside the 20-yard line.
There was nobody on him out here.
They mark it at the 16-yard line. Great
I wonder
play.
whether that was a set play or whether Don Stromali, the punter, just noticed that Jones was uncovered out here in the left flat.
Not a bad-looking pass. Beautiful-looking pass from Stramalia.
Just been reminded by Kevin Yall that Don Stromali was a quarterback for a few years in this league. Throws a fine pass.
He'll take that completion, I'm sure. And the Force will as they get it at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10. Pitch it to the outside. Flags fly in the air.
I think they're going to get the tight end for holding on that play.
On the play.
John Stancato, the ball carrier,
Call, holding.
very close to being broken up. Someone from the Viking defensive left side slipped in, almost broke up that play. Stancato comes off the field now. And replacing him is Jeff McSheffrey. Show you that they come in all different shapes and sizes out there. Paul Panozzo for Orland, 5'5", 165 pounds, number 40.
He plays a lot. He's a regular. 1st and 20.
Lee got pressured. Threw up a pass, almost ill-advised. Vikings had a shot at picking that off, but the Viking defense able to get inside to stop him from getting anything on that football.
Other than that one touchdown pass to Williams, the Lake County team has done a fine job covering the wideouts for the force. Stramalia, Williams, and Durrell Taylor.
Well, it seems that Lean is having a lot of time to throw the football. On that particular play, he was rushed heavily, but he's had some time this evening to throw the football.
Yes, he has, which makes the coverage even all the more important.
2nd and 20, draw play. Right up the middle, Darren Jones.
Darren Jones.
To the 10-yard line.
Pick up by 15.
Darren Jones, excellent running back for the force.
Down by Cooper.
Picked up 17 yards on that play.
Gain of
3rd down
17.
and 3. And the force take a timeout. When you're this far down in the field, you don't want to make a mistake.
Timeout
And
on the field.
we'll see what the coaching staff has come up with for the force to see what they can do.
Ball just outside the 10-yard line. The force has dominated this game on both sides of the line of scrimmage and only has a 1-touchdown lead. This score might be very important to them.
Well, we have this chance. We've talked about the contributions made by a lot of people in giving of their time to help out with these ball clubs. Let's start with Lake County. Russ Crayley, the head coach. Bob Horn, the offensive coordinator. Don Willis, offensive and defensive line coach. Dennis Pressler is a personnel and scout coach. John Tesh, a defensive coordinator. And Reggie Flea Johnson, the wide receiver and special teams coach. Many of you may remember him from the last time in the Libertyville system when the Lake County team played. Took on Gary Flea Johnson, an excellent receiver. We'll give you the Forces coaching staffs when we get a chance after this play. 3rd down and 3. Lean to the air, and it's complete. Darren Jones on the reception, and he got popped on that one.
Jones on the completion, covered by Akers.
Nice coverage by Akers. Does a fine job in pass coverage.
He got enough for the 1st down after taking that shot. An excellent reception by Darren Jones. He's done a lot tonight, running with the football, coming away with that reception. Force threatening again from the 6-yard line of Lake County. Sheffrey and Jones behind Lean. 1st and goal.
Stramalia lined up in the back, going in motion.
And there's Jones. Just shy of the goal line. Stopped on the play. Steve Hofflander comes in to make the tackle.
Takedown by Hofflander.
So the force, 2nd and goal. The ball rests at the 1-foot line. Maybe a good time for the quarterback keeper here. Leading 7-0. 11:50 left to go in the 1st half. Force once again on the move. And it is a keeper by lead, and he does get him for the touchdown.
Touchdown. On the keeper by Lynn.
Went in behind Tim Russ, the big center. 6'6", 280 pounds. And looks like he's in pretty good shape.
So the Force mounted drive and come away with 6 more points. They'll try to make it a 14-0 game. Baldiga back on for the point after. Stramalia to Holt. And the point after is good.
And the score is.
So with 11:34 left in the first half of play, the Force lead the Vikings 14-0. At the 8:23 mark of the first quarter, a 40-yard touchdown pass from Lind to Williams made it 7-0. And then Lind on the quarterback keeper makes it 14-0.
Now, Chip, there's so many kids kicking today, soccer-style kicking, that we always had good kicking at this level. We had a kid kick a 65-yard field goal for us one day, and ironically, it was good, and the other team was encroachment where we had to accept the penalty, so he had to try to 60-yarder and missed it. But at that time, that was only a yard or two short of the record in the NFL. Bob Johnson was his name.
Lukanski to kick it off for the Force. And the Vikings let this one go out of bounds and the flags fly.
Best offense for the Vikings today has been the poor kickoffs of the Force.
Actually, that's very true. They haven't been able to mount too much of an attack, be it in the air or on the ground tonight.
Well, they're at the point they have to show something here pretty quick, or the defense starts to get a little demoralized because the offense doesn't move the ball, and then they start to give up more points than they have shown an inclination to do. Even though they're down 14, they've done a pretty decent job.
I'm pretty impressed with the way the Force has played this evening in watching them warm up. I'm sure they were fired up about playing tonight, but the Vikings very vocal, a lot of high fives and a lot of head-butting and everything else. These guys are fired up, but it seems the Force has come in very relaxed, calm, and it shows right now that they can really have pent-up desire in football games. 14-0 lead right now. The Vikings seem to have lost some of that enthusiasm they had early in the ball game.
It's funny how the scoreboard will do that to you. The Vikings are going to have the Force kick again, though. I guess they figure like we do. Their best offense is like they made a mistake.
This kick comes from the 30-yard line. Coleman takes it. Coleman's got some room. Brought down from behind by Ed Jordan.
That was a very nice run back by that young man. He did a nice job. He should have been taken down about the 33-yard line, escaped that tackle, came down the sideline for about a 30-yard return.
Boy,
He made the right choice.
Boy, did Coleman pick up a block around the 48-yard line, too, to try to advance the ball a little bit more.
Did you get a number?
Yeah, it wasn't
I'd
able to
give somebody credit for those nice blocks.
Yeah, that one came flying right by, and Coleman read it beautifully to cut back inside. So 1st and 10. Vikings with their best field position to start a drive this evening at the forced 46-yard line. Blitz is on. Horn takes off, still looking to throw. Pumps it. Finally, he's hit. Incomplete. What a hit by Ray Novickus. He drilled Horn, and Horn was fortunate enough to just get that pass off.
Ray Novickus, I assume, is the brother of Mike Novickus, who has played semi-pro football in the Chicago area for 8 or 10 years.
Ray Novickus, 6'4", 225 pounds, out of St. Rita High School, and went to the College of DuPage. COD grad. Second down and 10. Horn into the shotgun formation. Marvin Jackson in the backfield, along with Horn. Horn to drop back, looks deep. Incomplete. Pass intended for Rodney Coleman. But it was broken up nicely by the Force defense. Coming over to knock it down was Steve Franzese.
That's really a case where the receiver became the defender. He knocked away a ball that could have been intercepted.
That's an adjustment, as we've talked about with the pro level and the practice, but not a bad play by a guy who only gets a chance to practice 2, maybe 3 times a week. Third down and 10 now. 11:09 left. Force lead this one 14-0. On the blitz, Horn over the middle, completes the pass. Jerry Nash on the reception.
That was a very well thrown ball. Quarterback stepped back and hit a nice hook there.
Officials say Nash was down just short of the first down marker. He had to get to the 36, but the ball sits at the 37. It looks as though the Vikings, well, now they're going to call a timeout to discuss this with their coaching staff. I would think that at this point they may opt to go for it. Only a yard to go.
This is one of those cases where the fans would cheer say go, but the coach sometimes think, hey, it's 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Let's play traditional football and punt. But I have a hunch they're going to go for it.
Talk about the fans and the Lake County side, some people making the trip all the way down here to Palos Hills and up around here for the Force. Not a bad turnout on tonight. Great football night. The fans may have wished for 15, 20 degrees warmer, but for the players, I don't think they'd complain. Beautiful night for football. See, Horn comes back in. The Vikings will go for it here on 4th and 1 at the 37-yard line. Ed Jordan came over to the sideline for the Force to talk about the defensive alignment with his coaching staff.
Notice the Force has 2 or 3 player coaches this year, including Don Stramalia and Dan Van Holt. Von Holt, I believe it is.
4th and 1 for the Vikings.
He did not make it.
Far short of the first down. Ed Jones came up and really laid some pads into Stu Sale, excuse me. Tried to go right, and they wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Sales on the carry, stopped by Jones and the rest of the Force defense.
I tell you, I don't care what level you're at. There was a big hit.
That was a nice hit. It's a sound that you never understand what it means.
As a defender, I would venture to say you love that, and you can dream about that tonight. And as a running back, I think you think about it the more times you step onto the field. Force take over on downs. 1st and 10. Lynn to throw. Stramalia on the outside. Gets out of bounds in Viking territory at the 46-yard line. Wade on the coverage.
Don, a heady old receiver, took the out of bounds there when there's 3 guys in his way. And at 33 or 4 years old, I think he made the right choice.
Seems to me you get a lot of
told
very...
it's 35? 35, I'm told. Delivers beer all day and plays football at night.
Sure, after delivering the beer, he's sick of it, but then after a game, I would imagine he wouldn't mind sitting down and just relaxing with a couple. Lynn to throw, fires it over the middle, incomplete.
Intended for Darrell Taylor.
Lynn to Taylor.
Broken up beautifully by Larry Bobo.
Coverage by Bobo.
Lynn threw that one on a line. That was a good-looking pass. Seems that the Force are trying a lot of these slants over the middle, too, to try to get inside the defense and advance the ball down that way.
It's amazing they do scout each other quite a bit, Chip. They probably had some tendency. You notice they're just covering one-on-one on each of these wideouts, so that makes the slant in a good call.
Flags in the air.
Look like they got back.
Darren Jones with a lot of running room. Fumbles the football, but the Force will retain the possession. He lost it backwards at the 11-yard line. Penalty flags on the ground, however.
That was offside on the defense. That'll be refused.
Preliminary call, offsides defense.
It seems as if there's been so much anxiousness on both ends defensively to try to get in there real quick that this time they were caught.
That ball seems to be coming back. There must have been a little... Nope.
No, it is against the defense, and they do wave it off. Darren Jones made a beautiful cutback to get away from Bob Akers. He turned him completely around at the 15-yard line and sprinted out left. Akers recovered to bring him down, caused a fumble, but fortunately for the Force, it rolled out of bounds.
He's a pretty good little running back, one of those fire plug type kids, about 5'6" or 7, 195 pounds.
From the Vikings 12-yard line.
Played at Lamont High School, just west of Orland, Palos Hills here.
1st and 10. The Force can still get another first down at the 1-yard line. 9:23 left, 14-0. The Force lead it. Lynn taking his time. Now defense adjusting as well. They go
Like he might have audibled that time.
Strancato straight up the middle for a couple of yards.
Strancato on the carry.
Lynn seems to take his time up there. He's in no rush to call the play. Does a nice job of checking the defense. Then comes in and calls his play. He's in no hurry.
Yeah, that's would indicate perhaps he had an audible there, but
Second down.
Pretty heady play. You can see he checks over the defense a few times. McSheffrey to the 9-yard line. Keener on the tackle.
Drop down.
3rd and 9. And the Viking defense starting to stiffen here.
it looked like the Force decided they were going to try to run it in, but they're in a 3rd and long here. They're going to have Lynn put the ball up again.
3rd and 7.
I guess we'd be safe to maybe look for a slant here.
Panozzo wide right. Stramalia comes left.
Maybe a fade to Stramalia here in the left end zone, too. There it is.
Lynn looks for him, and it's broken up. Beautiful defensive play on the outside for the Vikings by Michael Wade.
By Wade.
Another flag on the field, too.
Flag on the field.
And another penalty. And it's a holding penalty against the Force.
Preliminary call, holding on the Force.
Lake County has an interesting call here. They could have 4th and 9 or put them back to 3rd and goal from the, no, it isn't quite goal. It would be 3rd and they're taking it back. It'll be 3rd and about 18.
At the Viking 20-yard line following the holding call. Michael Wade, excellent coverage, however, and you called it just before it happened about looking for Stramalia in the corner. Taylor and Stramalia split wide right. Clefman in at a tight end. Jones and McSheffrey in the backfield. Lynn drops back under some pressure. Clefman on the reception to the 9-yard line before he's tackled by Steve Peacock. Short of the first down, and the field goal unit will come on for the Force.
I don't know what they had called there. It didn't look like they...
Gain of 11.
This was a tight end screen over here that was a little disguised. I get the field goal try by Baldika.
The hold will be at the 16-yard line. This will make it a 26-yard field goal attempt. And Baldika drills it.
It's good.
6:57 left to go in the first half of play. The Forest lead the Vikings 17-0.
4-17. Lake County Vikings.
Well, I'll tell you, man, it seems that Baldika's really got some leg behind that one. He could have kicked that from 40 if he wanted to.
Soccer-style kickers, it's amazing. They're normally little guys, and they can really kick the stuffing out of the ball. I notice he does not kick off, though, so he mustn't have a real strong leg.
Well, there's something I want to ask you. Considering the fact that there's a lot of problems with field goal kickers in the NFL these days, much like catching is in baseball the easiest position to break into the big leagues with, do you think that a field goal kicker or a place kicker could be the way to go for some of these guys looking to move on? Try to address that one after the kick. Ken Allen on the return to the 35-yard line.
You talk about kickers, Chip. Back when I played, both college and in the little bit I played in the pros, if a field goal kicker or a punter made the team, he was set for the season. Today, particularly in field goal kickers, if a guy has a bad game, they have 2 or 3 people they bring in and try him out, and I haven't noticed it much this year, but most years they move these guys in and out. It's a very stressful position today, where 30 years ago it wasn't that way at all.
You know, the Vikings in their past history have seen some kickers go for at least tryouts. Dallas Cowboys, I believe, gave one of the kickers for the Vikings a couple of years ago a shot at making the team. Horn drops back to throw. Incomplete on the outside. Pass intended.
Coverage to Rich Carter.
Somebody kicking the NFL this year, I think it might be Dallas. He was watching a game in a tavern and noticed the kicker had a bad game and had his agent call, and they got him a tryout, and he made the team. I think it's Ian Howfield. Maybe that's Houston. One of those. I was watching the game the other night, I noticed.
I'll tell you, those guys have had some odd professions, too, when they've come in. Remember Tim Mazzetti, when he used to kick for Atlanta, was a tire salesman who came back into the league. Second down and 10 after the incomplete. Horn under pressure, throws it up, and it's complete to the outside. Finally out of bounds, reception made by Rodney Coleman.
Horn to Coleman.
He's a pretty good jitterbug runner. We might see him break loose here, given the opportunity. He had one guy to beat there. He would have had a 65-yard touchdown.
He'll be happy with the first right now, though.
Is that their first? I think it might be their first down.
It's been a while since they've been able to move the ball effectively, and this could be, I believe that is our first down tonight. Coleman stays in wide left. Jerry Nash split to the right. 1st and 10. Over the middle. Caught. Reception made by Stu Sale, but that ball was tipped by one of the defensive linemen for the Force, and somehow Sale still able to come up with it.
Reception by Sale.
5-0. The Force lead the Vikings. Vikings with the ball. Horn drops, gets it out to Nash. Driven out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Coming up to make the hit was Matt Sorgan.
There's a flag thrown late. It's got to be a unsportsmanlike conduct.
Flag on the play.
You can hear a lot of the players down there for the Force yelling, "What are you doing?" Don't want to give up a penalty like that in that situation.
Looks like Scott Klepser has his head hanging down. I hate to accuse him if he's not guilty, but it's the old saying, you know, in the NFL, the only time the offensive linemen get their number mentioned is when they have a penalty. Unless they don't do that out here. That's players don't mind that, I'm sure.
They prefer to keep it quiet. They don't want to get Stan Thomas disease and hear their name at least 3-4 times a game.
He's had his problems, hasn't he? Well, they're on to 30, a chance to get in here before the half.
Deepest penetration by the Viking offense into Force territory this evening. Horn drops back, flushed out of the pocket. Here's Nash.
Whoa!
Nash gets drilled and another flag goes flying. Ed Jones came up and just drilled Nash.
I sure hope that wasn't on that tackle. That was a fine hit.
I was wondering where that flag came from. This one seems to go against the Vikings, judging by the reaction.
Must have been a clip.
There is a flag on the play. Preliminary clipping.
Has Ed Jones come up with some hits tonight?
Plus a fine pass reception on that fake punt.
He came up with a big hit early on Lockman on that 4th and 1 situation where he popped over the left side and came up with a hit to stop the Viking drive then.
I haven't noticed Rick Starost out there for the Vikings. He's one of the owners of the team. You think he'd be playing. He must be hurt. If you're an owner, can you play anytime you want? Rick's a nice young man.
Horn drops back, throws it for Coleman. Incomplete.
Out of bounds. He caught the ball.
Horn to Coleman. Incomplete.
Tell you, the Force lineman came through so easy that time. I thought we had a screen pass coming up here, but he went deep to Coleman.
Not a bad catch by Coleman. Unfortunately, it doesn't count. Couldn't keep both feet in bounds. It passed by Horn, sailing out, and couldn't do much about it, keeping it in.
Both the wideouts for the Vikings seem to have a little speed and jitterbug to them, Nash and Coleman. I think that's their hope tonight, is to hit one of those two guys and move on down the field.
Flags fly.
It's got to be the old illegal procedure, an offensive lineman moving before the snap.
Flag on the play.
And that's what it is. You know, we mentioned it early in the first quarter of how many penalties we expected to see tonight, and up to this point, it's pretty much lived up to that. A lot of penalties.
It's not unusual. You see, you generally see a few fights in this level of football. These are, anybody who comes out and plays this sport is somebody who's an aggressive person, particularly at this level, and frustrations fly, and haven't seen any of that tonight, and it's never good to see that. But
Horn on 2nd down and Route 94. He's got a long way to go, and he's going to try to get it here. Intercepted. Coleman's the intended receiver, Gearlack, intercepts it, fumbles it. Vikings say they've got it, and they do.
They do.
Gearlack had the interception and then lost the football. And it seemed that Nash was able to fall on top of it for the Vikings.
It's a very fortunate fumble. Dave Gerlach's the younger brother of two kids that played on our River Grove Cowboys team.
Not a bad interception by Gerlach. Over the shoulder catch. But in trying to advance it, he coughed up the football, and Jerry Nash able to get there in time to recover it for the Vikings. So
I think the Viking quarterback forced that one a little bit. He was 1 white jersey and 3 blue. One of the blues came up with it.
yeah, Horn seemed to want it all on that play. They had a long way to go for the first, and he tried to air it out on that play.
I guess they're just inside the 10, Chip. I noticed the first down markers are laid down, so they're not in play now.
1st and 10 Vikings on the force, 9
The
yard
official
line.
has just moved it inside the 10, so they cannot pick up a first down. 2:48 left. Here you see some of the fans braving the weather tonight.
It's part of the big crowd here tonight. Wives or girlfriends or moms or dad, I can almost guess at that.
People with very close ties to the players are the ones out
That's
here
for
tonight.
sure.
Coach's daughter.
1st and goal from the 9-yard line for the Vikings.
I think that was Mr. Jones again. Nope, 39. Nice hit.
Couple of yards on the play.
It's Matt Sorgan, another veteran of
Matt Sorgon.
minor league football.
Carey was
He had an NFL tryout, Matt Sorgan. The Bears a few years ago.
Bachman carried it. Second down.
2nd and 9.
And more flags.
Coach's biggest nightmare. 5-yard penalty when you're down that
All
close.
sides, Vikings.
And the Vikings are penalized, and they can ill afford to take that right here, down this far inside force territory, furthest they've been all night.
Almost a field goal doesn't do you any good here, except give your team a little hope as you go into for the half. I'm sure they want 7 points here. 2 minutes, 2-minute warning.
Combined, the way Horn and
Chet Kopic.
Horn and Lind have thrown the ball. So we have a Chet Kopic lookalike out in the crowd tonight. Considering the way Horn and Lind have thrown the football tonight, combined, I don't think they're going to total as many throws as the officials tonight, the way the flag has come out. These guys are getting a workout throwing the flag. We've had a lot of penalties tonight. And here's some.
Chet Kopic here. Get him up here. Let's have. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
Boy, some people really braving tonight's weather.
It's a little too nippy for an old football player. What is? I guess it must be what, high 40s tonight.
Yeah, I think they were talking about possibly getting down inside 30 degrees tonight, and
Doesn't seem to be any wind.
no,
At least we're covered from it, Chip.
Well,
That's the most important thing.
yeah, like they say during the summer, it's not the heat, it's the humidity, and then it turns winter, and it's not because it's cold, it's because it's windy. So I guess because there's no wind, we really can't complain tonight. If it was, why not like Friday night? A lot of rainstorms through the area and some hail and sleet in some areas.
As you mentioned on the top of the show, though, this is perfect weather for the players, and that's really what matters. They has to get a little colder to bother them. Oh, here we go again, another illegal procedure.
Sooner or later, both teams will get it right, and we'll run a play here. This is one of those situations where you've got 2 minutes on the clock left in the half, and you take a stopwatch and you let it go, and you try to time out how long it takes to play 2 minutes of football.
Where's Roland? Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
Yeah, at this pace, too, the way the penalties are going, the Vikings may find themselves back at their original line of scrimmage when they started this whole drive.
What do we have? 2nd and about 18.
Here's a term you rarely hear. Second and goal from the 18. Horn back to pass. Intended for Starosta.
There's Mr. Starosta.
Incomplete. Novickis on the coverage.
Incomplete to Starosta.
Rick's a big guy, but seemed kind of tough. A couple guys over there for the force on the coverage.
Rick was always very quick. Quick feet, pretty good time in the 40.
Lake County Vikings. Many moons ago, this was the Lake County Rifles. A lot of people up in the Libertyville viewing area will remember. You guys are responsible for putting the lights at Carmel High School for night games. The Rifles have, of course, since disbanded and are now the Vikings several years later. Horn to throw on the outside. Coleman, touchdown.
Looked like 54 was going to pick that ball off. Richard Carter.
On the reception.
Great concentration by Coleman.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Carter. It was 91, Steve Francesi. I think he thinks he should have had that ball.
Super concentration on the part of Coleman to come down with it. And the Vikings finally get on the board. 1:49 left in the first half. Flags once again fly. Tesh the holder. The point after was by Friedrich. Now let's see what this penalty is. And there's an injured player down in the field for the Vikings. And a delay called on the defense. And they'll assess this penalty on the kickoff. So the Vikings find themselves back in the ball game at 17-7. Still trying to...
I can't see the number either, Chip. I don't know.
You know, this is pretty tough, too. I had a chance to talk to Dwayne Keener and Larry Bobo, and one of the subjects we had talked about was injuries in situations like this. You know, you guys aren't getting paid to play, and how does it work? Should you get injured enough to where, say, you can't go back to work for a few days, how does it work out? At least with the NFL Players Association, you still receive a check. You know, you still have guaranteed contracts at times, but for these guys...
that was always tough to see somebody get hurt, and a lot of these kids are blue-collar type jobs, you know, where the leg injury or a hand or arm or something affects your job, and it goes back to what I said earlier, though. They love this game so much that they risk all of that. That was Rick... Oh, no.
Let's check that. It seems to be...
Number 9.
Wes Quist, the center on the offensive line and on the field goal and punting units coming off the field.
That's a quarterback.
Hopefully he's all right and it's nothing too serious. There you can see him being helped off the field. Daryl Thorne out there, number 55, assisting.
Was he the snapper? Somebody probably...
I believe so. Quist is the center on the offense.
He's listed as a quarterback. That's...
Yeah, he is in the program. He's listed as the quarterback. When I got the starting lineup, he was at center tonight. Wes Quist, 5'11", 200 pounds, out of Warren High School in Gurnee. Friedrich kicks it off.
Williams on the return.
Back upfield. Has some blocking out to the 30-yard line before he's wrapped up on the play. Jim Cooper making the tackle for the Vikings.
Well, we'll see what the force has for a 2-minute offense here, Chip.
Williams on the return.
Got 1:39 to move 70 yards.
I tell you, looking down the Forest roster, they've got some big guys on this roster. John Arp, even though he's not here tonight, 6'6", 300 pounds. And Scott Anderson, 6'2", 290 pounds. Lind looking to the outside, completes it to Williams. Had the first down, lost it, but when he was able to regain and cut back forward, he picked it up.
Williams on the pickup. Gain of 11.
Tackle made by Jack Mall.
Tackled by Ball.
Stramalia and Taylor wide out.
Lind sacked for the first time this evening.
Lind is sacked.
Pressure coming up the middle, and that sack is given to Alan Plock.
Sacked by Alan Block.
Julian Tucker, number 70, coming from the outside, also applying pressure. Plock able to come up with the sack. First time that Lind has gone down tonight.
2nd and 16. We're down to 54 seconds.
Dwayne Keener applying pressure this time to Lind. He throws it out of bounds for the incomplete. 48 seconds left.
How big is Keener? Do you have any?
Dwayne Keener is 6'2", 220. Went to the University of Tennessee. Played
Good
ball
quick,
down there.
Good quick lineman.
Johnny Majors, head coach down there for a long time. Tennessee, nationally ranked team this year.
Did they win today? Tennessee got beat. They were ahead at half.
They've had their problems. They lost earlier to Florida last week. 3rd down, 16 to go.
Double
That's a
pass
lateral.
here, double pass.
Stramalia going deep. Incomplete. Just out of the reach of Darrell Taylor, but a beautiful play on the lateral back to Stramalia. And he went deep, but good coverage applied by the Vikings.
Excellent coverage. That was a
Fourth down.
well-conceived play, and one man covered Taylor, and that was enough. You know, Stramalia had a man open right here, though. He could have hit him for about 20, 25 yards. They were going for the 6, though.
Steve Bordzik stayed back in defensive coverage to take on Taylor. Vikings catch a break.
Notice the Vikings have somebody covering out here now on this punt. They've learned something.
Michael Wade is the Viking defensive back who's been switched over to the outside. He covers Dave Gerlach. Force will try it again. Stramalia to kick. Here comes a rush. Good rush. Vikings get a piece of it. Flag down on the play, however, and the ball rolls to the 44-yard line before it's finally down.
Flags in the area where somebody normally went downfield too soon.
Flag on the play.
You'll notice Stramalia kind of held up just a little bit. That's normally what gets a lineman going. That's all on timing.
Some good pressure by the Vikings from Stromalia's right. They got a piece of it.
Half a minute left here to get it down close enough for 3. The young man kicking on the field, I would guess they need about 10 yards here to give him enough. He seemed to be getting it in from 50 yards out.
The officials have waved off the penalty.
4-yard line.
Vikings with some timeouts left, too, that they can use. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings come out. Horn back to throw. Overthrows Nash. The pass batted down by Ed Jordan.
Intended for Nash.
And Horn a little slow in getting up.
To Jordan.
Clock down to 23 seconds. We don't know how many timeouts. I don't remember Lake County using a timeout, so they might have 3 left. Have to save one for the possible field goal.
And they've got some time, 23 seconds left. Nash and Ken Allen split wide right. Horn over the middle, picked off, intercepted by the Force. Beautiful interception by Jim Moland.
Interception by Mullen.
Very poorly thrown pass, primarily because of the rush by the defensive line of the Force. Quarterbacks have to learn to take a sack sometimes rather than throw the ball up like that.
Moland comes away with the second interception of the evening for the Force. Unlike what happened last time, though, he was able to hold on to the football.
Gonna have a 3 wideout set here for the Force. They're going to go deep a couple of times, I would imagine. Williams, Taylor, and Stramalia.
Single coverage on Stramalia. Wade guarding him.
This should be a penalty. Stramalia was not on the line of scrimmage.
That's a loose ball. Now
That was a pass, incomplete pass.
Now they're blowing the whistle. Now everyone's diving around. Vikings still think it's a fumble. Now flags are flying in the air.
I think the flag here is for guys coming off the bench. Don Stramalia was the, should have covered his tackle on this side. He was in the backfield. That should have been a penalty.
Well, he took the lateral. And when Wade read it perfectly, once he saw Stramalia back off, he read it perfectly and got his hands on Stramalia. He tried to get the pass back to the quarterback, Lind. Then it became a free ball. I think here, this penalty, too, is just a bunch of people not knowing the rule because they just dove after the loose ball by instinct.
Officials should have blown the whistle, too. I don't remember hearing a whistle. I'm told the whistle was blown. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Official.
These guys just attacked the football. Once it went loose and started to bounce around on the ground, these guys went right after it. Everybody diving on it. And well, did a long pause there while the official explained the penalty.
I think they were saying it was offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct, but a 15-yard face mask penalty on the Force, which ironically came on a dead ball. So I don't quite understand that. I guess it's 2 penalties versus 1.
That had to have taken place during that melee in that scramble for the football. 5 seconds left to go in the first half. 17-7. The Palos Orland Force lead the Lake County Vikings, and now the whistle's blowing. We have more confusion. I haven't seen this much confusion since
Only
the Thomas
10 men on the
hearings.
field, I think, is their problem. 3, 6, 9, 10, yeah. The tight end was not in on that 3 wideout set, and I guess they changed the formation. He forgot to go in. He now is joining the huddle, number 88, Bob Clefman.
So the last 2 minutes, and we talked about earlier about getting a stopwatch going. This has taken a good 20 minutes so far. All that for what appears to have Lynn step back and just fall at it to kill the clock. And that's what he does. And that play ends our first half here at Stagg High School in Palos Hills. The host, Palos Orland Force, lead the Lake County Vikings 17-7. We're coming back after this.
The broadcast networks want to add a 20% tax to your basic cable bill, just so you can watch on cable what they give others for free. Powerful lobbyists for the broadcast networks are working hard to pass a law in Congress that could do just that. And the money raised, up to $3 billion, will go right into the broadcasters' pockets. You'll get nothing new, just the same network TV you're getting now. Write to your senators and representatives or call the number on your screen. Stop the broadcast networks from adding up to 20% to your basic monthly cable bill.
A&E, one of many different entertainment and information services brought to you by Jones Intercable.
Right before your eyes, Jones Intercable.
Back at Stagg High School in Palos Hills, the Palos Orland Force lead the Lake County Vikings 17-7 as we get ready to start the second half of action. Vikings to do the kicking for the Force. Ken Allen on the return from his 25-yard line. Slips out of bounds across the 35. And that's where the Viking offense will start.
It's always interesting to see what adjustments have been made at halftime by both teams. We usually see a little different setup. I think Lake County realized they could throw the ball a little bit towards the end of the first half. We'll see what they come out with.
Chip Egan along with Mac Lewis and Kevin Yall joining us for a cable version of Monday Night Football up here.
Kevin, a former minor league football executive, among his many other accomplishments.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line. Horn has trouble with the snap. There's a massive humanity down at the 35-yard line, but it seems as if the Vikings were able to recover.
It's getting a little cold out there.
Fumble recovered by the Vikings.
It's a pretty cold night to the point where I mean, we're up here in an open area booth, and
What happens is your fingers start getting a little bit numb. It gets harder to feel the ball. Next thing you know,
we don't have the old luxuries that say some of those guys with the NFL teams do with the closed in. They get it nice, but if the fans can bear with it, so can we up here.
I just wonder why Kevin waited till halftime to join us. I guess he had to have the chicken and ribs and everything in the press room before.
Tried to get to the outside, but that play is stopped up. Rodney Coleman was the running back, but he was brought down for a big loss on the play. Back to his own 29-yard line.
First two plays would indicate that the Force's defense adjustments were better than the Lake County's offensive adjustments.
Well, the Vikings not being able to get anything going right now. They've had their troubles.
Third and almost 20.
Walter Tesh is the quarterback for the Vikings. I may have mentioned Brian Horn, but is Walter Tesh, number 7 behind center, 6 foot, 180 pounds, from my old alma mater, SIU, Southern Illinois University. Boy, we had some lean years when I was there.
They haven't had many other than lean years, have they?
No. Coleman outside, flags fly. Coleman got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it before he was dropped.
3 flags on the field there.
As far as the officials are concerned, we're picking up where we left off. Clip on the Vikings.
Guess 3 officials got the same, all on the same call.
Well, the Vikings will now punt it away.
I'm sure that will be declined as it has been.
Penalty decline.
Chris Fittrich. Fittrich comes on to kick. And dropping back deep, Darrell Taylor once again for the Force.
Fidrich is one of those players a coach loves, somebody who can punt and do the field goals both. save yourself a roster spot.
Matt Sorgan is his up man. Now Jerry Nash comes onto the field, so the Vikings had 10 guys. Fidrich has to handle a high snap, gets off a high kick. Taylor Fair catches at his 40-yard line. So we'll get a chance to see the force in offensive action once again. He put up 17 points in that first half and moved the ball rather effectively. Rob Lind at quarterback, throwing the ball rather well tonight.
Yes, he's done a nice job for the most part. Throws a very good ball. He must have, I don't think we have stats, but I'm sure he's well over 100 yards passing.
Well, he's been helped out by a 40-yard touchdown catch by Williams. And that doesn't hurt your stats too much when you can complete passes like that.
They're still playing one single coverage on the two wideouts for the force.
Head off to McSheffrey to the line of scrimmage before he stopped on the play. Dwayne Keener over on the tackle.
You know, the force defense has done a real good job against the run.
They've been playing it well tonight. It's, you know, the Vikings can't get too much going either way, putting the ball in the air, keeping it on the ground. Force showing the audience why these guys are undefeated in conference at 9-1 overall. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. Lynn steps back under pressure, fires it up.
Oh.
How many times has Stromali been overthrown tonight, Mac?
That's at least 3 or 4 times. Another flag on the field.
Yeah,
Chip said the officials are the star of this game so far.
I'll tell you, you mentioned Stramalia being overthrown. He's gotten by Wade on the outside a couple of times tonight, and Lind is just overthrown.
That was a roughing the passer call. Well, that's true, Chip. He has gotten around McCullough, but I would say the coverage has been very good on Don Stramalia tonight. Normally, I guess he's caught a couple of balls on hooks, but his go patterns and slants, he hasn't done much. That one fade in the end zone was a little long, but
Seemed like the Forces line has also done a good job of protecting Lind. They blitzed that time, and he still had enough time to get the ball off on a fly pattern.
look at this, 11 men within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Drop play to Darren Jones.
Good call against that defense. You pop it through and you're gone.
You know, the force line averages about 280 pounds. Tonight, the average is down to about 250 pounds, so they're playing a little smaller tonight.
You know, I saw something a while back about quickness with regards to defensive linemen. Sure, they're big guys, but it seems like a lot of teams will pick up big offensive linemen while the defense is quick. Maybe not as big size-wise, but quicker, and that's why they're able to make better plays. And maybe with a quicker offensive line, you can come off the ball and make some holes.
That's always been the key to a lot of the teams in this league, having good, quick offensive lines.
Well, now they have a flag. Now, this is an interesting call. The ball was dropped by Stramalia. Wade picked it up, started to run. Once he advanced the ball, then they blew the whistle, and now they throw a flag.
Actually, Wade reached in and stripped the ball from Don Stramalia, and of course, we don't have the luxury of replay here. That just might have been a fumble. There's also a flag.
Well, they have a penalty against Lake County, and this will move it back, but they have pass interference. That will go against Wade.
I guess you got there a little too quick.
He had to be pretty happy, too, about the fact that once he saw that ball laying on the ground, picked it up, and nobody was around him.
There's big Paul Pinot's out here on the left flank, 5'5". They're going to go to him. Whoa!
And it's a sack for the Viking defense. What a play by Steve Borzik, blitzing in from his safety position.
They had a couple guys coming in there totally untouched.
Best pass rush of the night for the Vikings. They seem a little more fired up on defense.
I believe that's only the second sack for the defense tonight, too.
Lake County, the second half really does look like they've come out a little bit different team than the first half.
That was the second sack for Lake County.
Well, we mentioned that earlier. These guys were really fired up in warm-ups and everything else, and Palos came out, just seemed to be very relaxed, calm. 17 points on the board. These guys came in as business as usual, and it seemed to take some of the momentum away from the Vikings, the way they were fired up.
Well, I think the Force's first couple drives really had to take some of the wind out of their sails.
Lind across the middle for Taylor. Incomplete.
Darrell Taylor held up that time. He's got to keep going. That's the only way the quarterback will hit you in a case like that.
Darrell Taylor was with the Seattle Seahawks during the strike year.
You know, we talked earlier about arena football and World Football League and the upcoming Spring Football League, but there was an interesting situation, the strike. You know, a lot of these guys, and we talked about during halftime, some of these guys from semi-pro teams got a chance to come on and try to impress some of the NFL brass, and some did because they hung on.
I'd mentioned Mark Rodenhauser earlier this evening. That's exactly how he got his start. Mark is probably the best long snapper I've ever seen, and he's now in his 5th year, I believe, Kevin, isn't he?
5th year, and
and
he's
that's
playing
all
with
he
San
does
Diego.
is long snap. It's he's going to get a nice pension. He's probably earning $150,000 a year right now.
Just to snap the ball.
He was probably 27 or 8 years old before he got his chance.
He was with just about every league and every team in the world. I think he was with the World Football League. He was with the Midwest Football League. He was with the USFL. He was with the Arena League, and now he's with the National Football League. So he's made the rounds.
Third down, Lind back to pass once again, going long. Intercepted. Bob Akers with a one-handed grab.
That was a wonderful catch he made. Oh, he's got the strut going too. All right.
Well, that ball was intended for Williams, and just Akers made a great break on the ball and came down with that one-handed grab. It was just phenomenal.
Actually, Kevin Williams had a step on him too. It was just a slightly underthrown. Would have been 6
I
points.
tell you, how many times now has Lind underthrown all of his receivers? Just a tad.
But I tell you, he picked that one off. Akers took off, and Willie Boyd came out of nowhere and just leveled one of the guys on the force coming up from behind to try to make the tackle. I tell you, we've seen our fair share of big hits tonight.
Actually, Williams recovered and tripped him up. If he had picked up that line of blockers there on the right side, he might have been gone.
I think in a league like this, your hits are going to be just as big in a lot of instances as in the National Football League or any of the other professional leagues. These guys are just as big in a lot of cases. Plus, they're playing with a lot of desire and heart, so they're out there for the fun of it, which sometimes gives you some big
Reverse.
hits.
And it's open. Look out.
He's got a lot of blockers in front of him.
Come to the outside, forced out of bounds.
Nice play by Sorgan. Came all the way across the field and knocked him out of bounds.
Ken Allen takes the handoff around. Coleman started the play, and they get it to Allen.
I tell you what, if Allen turned that corner just a little bit quicker, he had nothing but daylight in front of him.
Got some.
Vikings opening up their bag of tricks.
You got some speed out there, you know. Some of these guys aren't too slow. These guys got some speed. Ken Allen, we talked about Coleman before, and some of these guys in the force, too, can also move. Darren Jones has really impressed me tonight.
That's a good point, Chip. I think the Vikings probably have 3 or 4 quicker kids than the
They're
Force
quicker,
do.
and at those specialty spots, they're also a little bit bigger. They're big, quick kids, and that really helps out.
Chess drops into the shotgun formation. Lockman and Sale in the backfield with him.
There's that deep snap
motion in
again.
the offensive line that they missed. Oh my gosh, beautiful.
What a tremendous grab.
Another one-handed catch.
Ken Allen, an unbelievable catch, and that's amazing because Steve Franzese is right there on the coverage, and Allen with a beautiful one-handed grab.
He was on him like a blanket, and Allen just came out of there, and actually I think if he wouldn't have got a little bit tangled up, he could have got up and run that ball.
Tesh impressing with his arm strength, too. He really launched that ball.
I tell you what, he didn't underthrow that ball.
Sometimes that's all it takes for to fire a team up and get them right back into this game.
I think in a league like this, it's very important to have a good quarterback. I think that's one of the most important positions on a semi-pro team is a quarterback.
Ken Allen, 5'9", 180 pounds, out of Indiana University. More known for its basketball, but Allen, a heck of a football player. Beautiful catch. First down from the Force 37-yard line. Tesh to throw. Overshoots Nash, the intended receiver.
Yeah,
Van Holt on the right on the hurry there.
Ed Jordan wanted a piece of that ball. He made the break the wrong way and could have had an interception on that one.
Bob Lockman checking in with the play. He replaces Stu Sale, excuse me. Lockman, 5'9", 165 pounds, from Vernon Hills. Second and 10 now. Nash wide right. And Tesh drops back into the shotgun formation once again. Under pressure, fires to the outside, and it's complete.
I'd say this second half, Lake County does look much improved. You know, they're getting off the ball nice. They're a good protection. He, hung in there in the pocket and fired that ball.
Quarterback Tesh was a little slow getting up there, but he seems all right. That was an excellent pass going to his left. Very difficult to throw as accurate a pass as he did there.
Ken Allen once again on the reception. This guy has found a way to come up with the football so far. Tesh had his helmet removed during that play. He took a shot.
It's always nice to have three quarterbacks on your roster, too, so that when one has a cold hand, you can pop in another quarterback, and all of a sudden you got another hot hand in the game, which has made a tremendous difference.
Under 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and a much faster-paced second half so far than we had in the first. Tesh, a quarterback.
They're showing a little blitz here.
Comes straight up the middle. Coleman is wrapped up for no gain. Matt Sorgan on the tackle.
Was Rich Carter in there also with Matt Sorgan on the tackle? Rich Carter's another long-time player in the league. Has been playing for a good 9-10 years.
From what you guys have seen, what's the oldest player you've seen come through this league? I mean, these guys are playing forever, it seems.
It would have to be one of the players on the force that's not here tonight. It has to be John Sago, who has been in the league, I would imagine, close to 20 years.
Who was that linebacker, too? I understand he's still playing. Was on the Cowboys for a couple of years. His name escapes me now. Sold cars. He was in his mid to late 30s 5 years ago.
He is playing on one of the teams on the north side right now.
I heard he was playing. Might be in that Chicago league.
Quick pop to Allen. Carter on the stop. Short of the first down. Third down coming up for the Vikings.
Yeah, John Sago has to be getting pretty close to 40 right now, and he's still playing and playing just as well as he was when he was 30.
That's what's great about semi-professional football, too. It knows no size or age limit, really. You see guys 5'9", 5'4", 6'3". Then you see the ages vary from 23 on up.
Yeah, the most important thing is to be able to show up for practice and be here on Saturday night for the games.
And play with a little bit of heart.
That's it.
Yeah, we have an official timeout on the field. Taken by the Vikings. Oh, we have this chance, too. Why don't we talk a little bit about the league? I've noticed that in terms of the Lake County schedule, and this may also apply to the force, is the amount of night games. I would imagine that might have been changed because I know in the past there have been some day games, and that caused a lot of problems for guys that try to get out to play. But it seems night games work out great for their work schedules.
I think work schedules, plus I think it's nice to play at night because you definitely will have a bigger crowd at night. You can't play in a semi-pro league on a Sunday afternoon and compete with the NFL games. You're just not going to get the attendance. And the attendance does help the clubs pay for their expenses because football is a very expensive sport. A couple years ago, the cost was about $365 per player just for equipment alone. again, being the most expensive sport to outfit a person for.
And they tried to do it on Saturday afternoons, too, a couple of years ago, and I know that's going to hurt because of the college football and the high school football.
That's right. So, you know, Saturday nights are a great time to put these contests on and get decent crowds and start building up a following because it's a good brand of football.
What would they have to pay the school here, Kevin, to turn the lights on here at night? And
I would imagine that your average is between $700 and $1,000 just to get the field ready for play. I think that would be pretty much of an average league-wide.
Does Orland play here on the regular basis?
What they'll do is they rotate from school to school so that they don't put extra wear and tear on the high school fields. Most of the teams, though, do have a specific field that they play on.
3rd and 2. The Vikings try to get it with Vince DeVost, his first carry of the evening. DeVost, 6 foot, 200 pounds, also from the University of Tennessee. And I don't think he got it.
Yeah, from our vantage point, it looks like he's just a tad short. It's always amazed me that football is a game you play in a 100-yard field, but yet an inch or two really comes down to sometimes making or breaking a game.
It's 4th down, and
it's a long yard, it looks like.
Let's see what the Vikings... It seems that the Vikings will try to go for the field goal. Chris Fidrich, 6'3", 205 from Purdue.
It's about a 32-yarder, Chip.
I was watching him warm up before the game, and he has a lot of leg. He is a straight-on kicker too, and he nailed it.
He drills a 32-yarder, and that could have been good from somewhere around 50.
That was not Fidrich. That was number 18.
Yeah, that was Tom Vergis.
Yeah.
Tom Vergis, excuse me.
He was not a young man.
No, and again, something that you really don't see. I was talking to Kevin Butler about this and asked him the reason why you see so many soccer-style kickers compared to straight-on kickers, and he said there really is no reason besides just the style, because a straight-on kicker is much more accurate, and secondly, a straight-on kicker has more leg. It's just something that's evolved within the last 6 or 7 years, where soccer-style kickers have become very popular.
Well, I think the advent of the game of soccer being taught to younger, 6, 7-year-old kids who aren't big enough to play football become kickers too. Although Butler's a pretty good athlete.
I tell you, it's great to see a straight-on kicker like that, and he nailed that with plenty of room to spare.
You think about the accuracy and the fact that when you get a straight-on kicker, he normally doesn't play the wind. He has to just determine it from the hash mark, whereas these soccer-style kickers have to play wind. They're playing golf, whereas a field goal kicker that's straight on is just...
It's much more of a scientific movement where I think soccer styling is a little more athletic, and there's a little bit of chance.
Well, as you're both alluding to, the soccer-style kicker, you tend to get a hook at the end, and that's...
As we saw during the Bears preseason, that hook doesn't always go the way you want it, does it, Matt?
that kind of surprised. Ed Gardocki was one of the best kickers I ever saw in college, and he had a rough time.
Burgess's kick skips through, picked up by Williams.
Williams on the run here.
And he gets up to the 27-yard line before he's tackled on the play.
Well, we got ourselves a football game here, 7-point game with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I tell you what, the size of the two squads is a little bit different because the force has a few guys off. I think the Vikings have quite a few more players to put some fresh players in there from time to time, and in the third and fourth quarter, I think that's going to be a big factor.
Particularly at this level, Kevin, where you don't get to work out 5 days a week. Takes a lot of personal dedication to stay in shape.
I know, I was tired just coming up the stairs up to the press box.
You didn't get it till the second half.
It's a lot of stairs.
That should be on the offense.
Yeah, I did see a little movement on the offensive line there.
Quarterback moved.
They'll mark this. See how they do it. Now the officials are having a conference, and that's what it will be. It'll be against the offense.
It has to be the most frustrating thing. You guys were talking about the amount of penalties in semi-pro football. For a coach who doesn't have that much time to work on the finesse part of the game with the players, things like false starts have to be very frustrating. As you can see, that under most circumstances, I think a coach in the NFL would be very upset at that call, and the coach of the force is just kind of understanding it, I guess, a little bit.
1st and 15. The crossbuck handoff is snuffed up. Beautiful play as they try to get it to.
Looked like Borzik on the tackle there. Just
The force is going to have to go back to the air here if they want to move the football.
Darren Jones was the running back. He was stopped up, and you brought up the point about the offsides, and I could see, and I find this, that I could see where the defense could jump off a lot more, but the offense, it seems that, even then, it seems that the quarterback just comes up. We're on 2.
Well, I think in a situation like this, the guys' minds have a tendency to wander just a tad more, and it's sometimes hard to remember those snap counts. I can remember doing it a few times myself and feeling like a total jerk.
Lind goes long, overshoots Darrell Taylor. Wade on the coverage.
What Lynn's got to do in that case is put that ball up in the air a little higher and let a guy like Taylor run under it. He's throwing a line drive, if you will, and it takes a lot more touch to drop that in there.
A kid like Darrell Taylor has quite a bit of speed.
Oh, yeah.
But it is hard to get under line drive.
Nickname is Flash.
It's 3rd down.
That was my nickname, too.
The lineman give you that one? 3rd down and 20. The Force has to get to their own 39-yard line for a first. Clefman on the reception. 1st down.
I tell you what, Clefman is a big tight end and fairly fleet of foot.
That was give the quarterback a lot of credit on that too. He looked right, real strong, even glanced left, I think, and then hit the big tight end right down the middle, wide open.
And the defensive backs played back to just let something, if it gets in front, that's fine, but don't let him get the first. And Clefman found that hole and just took off. Akers had to make the tackle.
Clefman is such a tall tight end comparatively to the people on the opposite side of the ball for the Vikings that I would definitely utilize him a little bit more, especially in the second half if they're going to put a little more cushion on the board, which they really need to at this point.
6'6", 255. Come up the middle with Jones. Boy, this guy just runs with power. He's 6-yard pickup.
He's a small guy and real low to the ground, and you can just see how that really helps out because you have to wrap him up a little bit low, and it's Jones doing a very good job tonight. He's had a few of those runs.
You notice the little guys back into the NFL a little bit too. When I say little, I mean short in stature. They all weigh. Thurman Thomas's and Barry Sanders are all 200-pounders, but I guess it's a big help to have a little short guy running through all those 6'7".
It gets hard to see him when all the other players are so tall and they're down there. It's really rough to wrap them up.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Well, compared to the first half, this really went quick, didn't it?
This sure did go quick, and we've also seen 2 different teams here. The Vikings have picked up where Orland left off in the first half. They've gotten themselves back into the ball game at 17-10, and we'll have the 4th quarter after this.
Another one of life's little problems.
We've got 3 TVs, so everyone's happy, right? No. See, everybody wants to watch the TV with cable, so we work out this schedule. On Mondays, my wife Judy gets 9 to 3, I get 5 to 7. Tuesdays, I get 5 to 7, Judy gets 7 to 9. Wednesdays, the kids flip a coin to...
The simple solution.
I called my cable company and ordered additional hookups. So for just a few extra bucks, I can have cable on every TV in the house. So now I can watch what I want, Judy can watch what she wants.
Make it easy on yourself with an additional hookup. Call today.
It's the Survivor Series, live Wednesday night, November 27th, exclusively on pay-per-view.
Viking 46-yard line. Linda pass. Incomplete, and what a charge by the Viking defense.
I believe that ball was tipped by number 45, being Steve Borzik.
Mac, my question to you is, do you get half a sack for putting a rush on like that when the quarterback is lucky to get the ball away?
They call that a hurry today. They measure hurries. The teams do, I should say. The official stats don't show those.
That definitely was a hurry.
That sure was.
Well, I'll tell you, it's, you know, a lot of people laugh at the amount of stats in that in football, but a hurry is, I think, an excellent one to keep because of the fact that he is able to deter the quarterback, helps out the defense.
It makes a big difference.
3rd down. Lynn to the air once again. Throws short, and it's complete. Down to the 24-yard line on the completion.
That was Brett Wilson.
I tell you what, Brett Wilson was all by himself with nobody there. Brett Wilson, another...
It's his first time in the game, I think.
Yeah, another guy who was up during the strike year with the Minnesota Vikings. Now he's playing the Lake County Vikings.
You talk about a guy that seemed surprised when he caught the football, too.
And Brett out of University of Illinois.
Brett wears Coke bottle type glasses. He has a little trouble seeing on the field.
Well, he stays in there. There's Darren Nelson on the carry. Nelson is popped after about a 3-yard gain. Tackle made by 73. Bill Casper, his first hit of the night.
I wonder if Brett Wilson said anything to Casper after that hit. Brett is known for talking to his people on the opposite side of the
I wonder if he just
line.
got here. I can't imagine he wouldn't have been in the game before this.
It's always a possibility, too, considering, like we've talked about, guys with jobs and stuff like that. And
Brett is a free spirit in the best sense of the word.
Jones picked up 2 yards, 2nd and 8. They go right back to him once again, and he's stopped for a short gain.
Jones carrying again.
It's amazing to see the Force use that middle running game when they really haven't had too much success with it all the game long. They've had a lot more success with the outside runs and with the short passing game to the backs.
I guess it comes under the guise of keeping the defensive team honest. You have to throw a little something at them different every once in a while. I think we'll see him back to the air. It's about time for Stramalia.
Yeah, Stramalia, even though we build him, he has been quite quiet today.
3rd down and 6. The ball at the 20-yard line. And they've got Stramalia for the first down. Pushed out of bounds inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Jim Cooper on the coverage.
Never having played defensive back, I just can't imagine how you can cover a pass like that where the wideout goes down and stops, the defensive back not knowing it. That ball's in the air before he stops. There's just no way to stop a...
Stramalia has such a presence on the field also. If you noticed, you know, he knew where his feet were, he knew where he was at all times. A real asset to the team. But definitely a one-sided ball player. You see a lot of ball players out here in today's game that play both sides of the ball.
1st and goal. Ball at the 3-yard line. Jones on the outside.
Nice block
Touchdown.
by Brett Wilson to get him in there. Made an excellent block right at the goal line.
Brett throughout his career has always been a very good blocking back.
Unhappily, I would say, too. He'd rather carry the football.
Jones's first touchdown of the evening, 23-10. And they will now try for the point after.
You always feel a little bad here because Lake County Vikings were really starting to come back, and at this point in the game, there's 12 minutes left, and that other score, you'd think that it'd be a little harder to get up for the next series on offense for the Vikings.
I think if Don Meredith were here in the booth with us, we might be hearing...
No.
Come on, Kevin. You're the singer in the group.
There's still too much time, man.
Oh, he's not going to do it. You will sing later, though.
I think I might.
All right.
Baldiga for the point after. And the kick is good. 24-10 our score, 11:59 left in the ball game.
Force 24, Vikings 10.
I'll tell you what's really impressing me is the way these guys are kicking their field goals, point afters. These guys have got some foots there. And Mac and I had talked about it earlier I made a reference to being a catcher is probably the easiest way to break in a baseball, when I would think that maybe when you see guys that can kick, field goal kicking may be the way to get in for some guys. You know, you see the way they've got some strong foots, and I know some of the history of this semi-pro league has turned some guys into the professional ranks.
I think if there's a hardest position on any team anywhere, it's got to be the kicker, because they're always by themselves. They're always a little bit different, and they're heroes or they're everybody's
Something must
nemesis.
set them aside. If you think about every major college, and many of the small ones have excellent kickers, it comes down to 28 in the NFL. There's probably 150 guys out there who can kick. It comes down to pressure.
Allen at his 15. Solid return to the 42-yard line.
He has had a great second half. Catching the ball, returning kicks.
42-yard line.
Talk about kickers, it seems to be a position where it's the guy that wants to play football but isn't quite qualified to play another position like a lineman or a receiver or running back, but it's a great way to be on the team.
What did we used to call them, keekers?
That's what Alex Karras used to call him.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Tesh is quarterback this whole second half so far, and he's been effective.
Don't see many running plays from the Vikings anymore. They've got to get the ball in the air. See what I mean?
They opt to keep it on the ground, and Coleman is wrapped up and swarmed under. Beautiful defensive pressure. Scott Klepser comes in to make the tackle.
Coleman carrying.
What's Coleman's size, Chip? He's just a little bit of a guy, too, isn't he?
Yeah, Coleman comes into this ballgame 5'9", 158. Out of North Chicago, and North Chicago has a tendency to turn out a lot of speedsters. They've turned some kids into that Missouri Valley Conference from high school. They've done a pretty good job.
The force has been tough against that run, though, all night long.
Again, that comes down to Chip's earlier points. Offensive line, it's tough to get the coordination to have a good running attack when you only practice once or twice a week.
From the shotgun again. Tesh to throw, blitz on. Gets the pass off, but it's incomplete, just out of the reach of Nash.
Sorgan came through there untouched from his linebacker spot. Strong safety, I guess.
Sorgan's had a very good year this year for the force.
These guys, what a great record. Ranked 6th nationally. How does that come about? How do these guys?
What they do is there's a couple different organizations throughout the country that keep tabs on what they call power ratings. Comparing, it's real hard to compare different leagues. I know their semi-pro leagues out on the East Coast are a little bit different than the ones here in the Midwest, but then they compile all the stats and the figures and come out with a power rating, and that's how they get ranked nationally in the semi-pro ranks.
They bring Dunkel into this, or do they leave them out?
Yeah, I think they leave them out.
They've got enough to do. They got enough colleges and high school and pros to worry about. Tesh back once again. Flushed out.
Look at that.
Somehow avoids the sack and is able to complete the pass. Bob Lockman.
It's a lot of running for a 2-yard gain. Quarterback did a nice job to get rid of that ball.
Kind of reminded me of Mikowski the other night in the Green Bay Bears game when he was just about down and shuffled that last-minute, pass off to get a gain versus about a 10-yard loss in this instance.
I think that guy, along with Kenny Stabler, were two guys that even though they're starting to go down, they know how to somehow get rid of that football. Yeah, referee's timeout on the field.
Think about the style of quarterback that you really would like to have in a league like this. It has to be somebody like a Bobby Douglas. Somebody who could get out there and throw the ball a ton, but yet he can turn into a running back real quick.
That's for sure. Major Harris, somebody like that.
Right.
Quarterback with a running back's mind. Vikings will kick it away.
Well, I imagine Joe Montana would do very well in this league too, Kevin.
Friedrich with another decent kick. Taken by Taylor. Has some room, but he's tripped up. Fine play by Mike Hilty. 5'11", 230-pounder out of North Chicago on the special teams.
You keep thinking that these kick returners are just about ready to, somebody's going to break one for a touchdown shortly. I think both teams are getting a little tired. The special teams might be getting a little sloppy, and I think that might open the game up or close it.
One
or the other.
announcer's getting a little tired, too. Kevin, wake up, buddy.
Surprise, it's cold out. Should be keeping everybody up. First and 10 for the Force.
Stromali and Williams split out wide on this one.
Run out the clock time now for the Force.
Handed off to the inside, John Stancato.
What they want to do here now is make 2-3 first downs, and they can wrap this one up.
8:48 left in the ball game. Playoffs are coming up. Now, how are they going to work out that situation? This is towards the tail end of the season right now with the playoffs around the corner. How do they seed teams? How does that work out?
I believe in this particular league at this time they have 2 divisions. So I would imagine they have a couple wild cards, and then once they determine the league champion, then they go on into a national playoff, which last year Jones Intercable covered right out here, where they'd played a team from Alabama.
Somalia, the intended receiver, broke up by Larry Bobo. Bobo's had a pretty nice game, breaking up some passes tonight. There's also a Pro Bowl for the semi-professional teams, if I'm not mistaken. They also have a opportunity. I'm not exactly sure. I think Alabama or something is where the game is played, or Florida.
They, again, through the same people that compile the statistics, they normally have a league championship bowl, and they usually name an all-star team also.
3rd down and 9. 32-yard line. Lind with all day to throw. Launches one. Easily picked off. Steve Borzik. Wrapped up and driven out of bounds at the Viking 41-yard line. Borzik with the interception, his first of the evening.
Borzik looked like he didn't know what to do once he got the ball. He just kind of looked around to see where everybody was at.
That's why he plays defense. He gets the ball, and then it's just run the other way.
Are these teams part of Ron? The fellow in Elmhurst has the minor league football.
No, they're that's the American football. There's 2. There's the National Semi-Pro Football Alliance, I believe it's called, and they have the AFA, American Football Alliance. The teams here are the group that is out of the East Coast. Ron Reel is the gentleman that you're referring to for the American Football Alliance. He used to write a semi-pro byline in Pro Football Weekly.
Yeah, I kind of missed that. I was always interested to read that.
At the 41-yard line, Tesh, incomplete, intended for Coleman on the outside, underthrows. Clock stops with 7:24 left. The Vikings down by 14, 24-10.
Mike Novickus was on the coverage on that play.
A lot of brother combinations with this Force Ball Club.
Older and younger brothers, it seems like. There's quite a bit of age difference between some of the brother combinations. Mike has been in the league for about 12, 13 years. Played out of a small college on the north side of Chicago. I think it was North Central is where he played his college ball.
2nd down and 10. Tesh again from the shotgun formation. Force come on the blitz.
Starosta wide open. Whoa!
Nash cutting in front, just couldn't hang on to the football. Starosta unhappy. You see the arms go up in the air. Hey, if you're the owner, you get the ball.
That was Dan Von Holt that put the pressure on. This is the first time I think we've mentioned Dan's name tonight. Dan, another old-timer league. It seems like the Force, probably out of any of the teams, has more old-timers on it than anybody.
Dan's a player coach this year.
Right.
The KG veterans.
Dan started back in the late 70s with the Oaklawn Rebels.
Well, there have been a lot of teams that have come and gone throughout, too. I had made mention early in the first half about this Lake County Viking team. Used to be the Lake County Rifles.
As a matter of fact, I just got a phone call last week that they're having a reunion, in which Lake County Rifles used to be in the Central States League, and they're having a big reunion coming up, I believe, within the next 2 weeks, and Ed Sprinkle from the Bears is going to be their guest speaker.
Incomplete on the outside. Tried to get it to Allen. I also understand that there's a possibility of yet another Lake County team forming. Semi-professional team. I don't know where that's going to go or how that's going to come about, but heard some murmurs going on that it possibly may happen.
Well, one unusual situation that you get on the semi-pro level is a lot of split-offs and break-offs of teams, because you'll have a group of friends, or of course maybe they become friends over the years, think that they can do it better than the organization that's running the team. The next thing you know, you have two teams, and everything gets watered down a little bit. But there always seem to be quite a few teams throughout the Chicagoland area.
Friedrich with another kick. Darrell Taylor takes it. Brought down at the 29-yard line. Tackle made by Marvin Jackson.
30-yard line.
I think Darrell's getting a little tired on the returns, Mac.
I was just thinking that must be 6 or 7 of them tonight.
Friedrich is going to have a tired leg when it's over, and he's done a pretty nice job of punting this evening. He hasn't had anything shanked. He's been getting some pretty good distance and hang time on his punts.
I think that the punter for the Forces, their wide receiver Stramalia, who pulled in the first half, pulled off that wonderful fake punt.
That was beautiful. It was a backup quarterback we were talking about earlier. That guy.
In fact, he's at quarterback right now. Stramalia in there.
He keeps it, pitches it out, loose ball.
That could be a big turnover, gentlemen.
Dwayne Keener recovers. And the Jones Intercable family is happy about that.
Vikings ball.
Dwayne Keener with the big fumble recovery.
They brought Don Stramalia in to run the option, and Don was hit just at the time he pitched it. And
I think I just got the answer to the question I've always had. Why don't pro teams run the option? And I think I just got that answer.
Ill-advised pitch by Stramalia. Had to get rid of the football, and then it became the loose ball. Everyone kicking it around. Finally, Dwayne Keener falling on it.
the aforementioned Bobby Douglas would have been a great option quarterback because nobody could have hurt him.
I saw Bob last week, and talk about a large man for a quarterback. We were out with Trace Armstrong, and he's every bit as big as Trace Armstrong is.
Tesh still a quarterback. A lot of time left. 6:08 left in the ball game. Lockman to the right side. Couple of yards on the play. 2nd and goal from the 6. Coming in to make the tackle is Mike Novickus.
Well, if Lake County wants to get a couple scores in here, they better get this ball punched in the end zone pretty quick. That clock is ticking down. It's about 5:40 left in the game here.
I see Lynn sitting on the bench here. It doesn't look like he was injured. They just must have been giving Don a little work at quarterback.
I think what you alluded to was correct, Mac. They were going with an option look to try to run that clock out, and it kind of exploded right in their face.
2nd and goal. Clock keeps running, and the Vikings taking their own sweet time and getting this play off. Lockman again, the ball carrier, but this play is stuffed up by the right side of the Force defensive line.
Jones and Sorgan.
I think if I were the Vikings, I would not be trying to run at the center of that Force defensive line. They had some success running off tackle, and they go into the strength of the other team, slowing down their pursuit of the end zone and making it a little harder to get that second scoring quick.
Tesh has looked pretty good throwing the ball, too. I'm somewhat surprised they haven't tried to get something over the middle, maybe, or try a little corner route with Nash or Coleman, or even Ken Hill, the way he's been coming in and making some, or Ken Allen, excuse me, the way he's been making some catches tonight and freeing himself open. I'm surprised they haven't gone to that to try to get him open.
Yeah, they definitely have some big wide receivers on the Vikings, and you would think that there's got to be a mismatch back there with some of the smaller defensive backs for the Force.
The Vikings took the timeout to discuss the options they have, where they want to go with the ball.
If you look at the right cornerback for Palos is Dave Gerlach, and he's about 5'9". And a couple of the receivers that Lake County has, they have to be 6'2", 6'3". So you would definitely want to try to look at that as a weakness on the force and pass at it.
Now the Vikings have their play and see what they run.
We'll see if they take our advice.
Third down and goal. 4:57 left in the ball game. They decide to keep it on the ground. Lockman tries to get to the outside, but that play is swarmed over. Tackle made by Steve Franzese.
Again, trying to run at that defense. The force just strung out the outside, and there was no room. They tried it down the middle, didn't work, and then they tried it on the outside. That didn't work either. And now they're in a situation where they really have to go for it. The field goal really doesn't look good.
Dwayne Keener has told me several times that this Viking ball club has had their problems offensively in trying to get some points on the board. And looking at some of the scores of some games, it is true. They've a couple times only 2 points in a ball game, maybe 7. But in terms of trying to put up a huge offensive output, they haven't been able to really do that this year. They haven't exploded.
Once you get in that red zone, it becomes a lot tougher. The field definitely gets a lot shorter, doesn't it, Mac?
Yeah, you would think it would be just the opposite, but it's very difficult.
Touch to throw on 4th down, but he's sacked for a big loss. Coming up to make the tackle, Ed Jones. Boy, did that guy put it into another gear to go get him.
I tell you what, Jones just smelled that one. You could see he was just picking up speed as he was going after the quarterback, and that's a big play. That saves this game, really.
I don't think the Joneses are brothers, but one on offense and one on defense have been the two standout players tonight.
Golden opportunity gone by the wayside for the Vikings after that fumble recovery inside the 10 by Dwayne Keener. Vikings have to come up with something, but time is of the essence. 3:35 left in the ball game.
On this level, you always see the defenses, though, take a little bit easier time of getting themselves together.
Back in there again. I think his cadence pulled the Lake County defensive line offside.
Steve Chester brings down John Stancato. Check the penalty here. Surprised they went back to Stramalia at quarterback, considering what happened last time. Maybe they like the fact that he's a quarterback and just decided to go against the pitching. They won't do that anymore. No more option plays.
Keep it nice and simple. We're down to about 3:22 in the game.
As a rookie doing this color, I've just noticed, guys, these earphones keep your ears nice and warm. Kevin, I'm sorry you don't have any. I happen to take mine off, and
well, maybe
right,
one of these
Chip?
days
I'll
be up there with you and Chip, Mac. Get my own earphones too.
First and 5 on the penalty against Lake County. And off, they go up the middle. Brett Wilson on the carry. Close to a first down.
Smalley does have a very weird cadence, doesn't he?
Seems to have everybody jumping. The defense is anxious, and
I know I jumped on that one.
I was ready to hop down and try to do something.
There's Coach
Don
Stramalia.
Stramalia is a real heady athlete. There's no question about it. Smart. He's one of those guys, if he was 25 pounds heavier and 2 or 3 inches higher, might be playing in the NFL right today.
As you look at the field looks like it's getting a little wear and tear, getting a little bit late in the high school season here.
For the people in our Orland Park system that will see this ball game, the Lake County Vikings play their home games at Round Lake High School. Have that throughout the year. They haven't had a problem in fields. They've bounced around before in the past, where they've played games at North Chicago High School and other places, but Round Lake is their home for the past season, and maybe again next year. They seem to be happy with that place. Lake County comes in, as we said at the top, 4-4 in the conference. And they're still the conference champs, however. They won their, or division, I should say. They were able to take their division, 7-4 overall.
They don't call you cheeseheads up there, do they, Chip?
No, we're not that far north. Thank God. No, we're still.
Those guys are kind of proud of that up there. They always wear those cheeses on their heads.
Oh yeah. Well, I make the trip in every day from Chicago, so I'm furthest thing from being a cheesehead. I'm proud of it, thank God.
Actually, just about all the Chicago Bears live up in your area up there.
Well, too, considering Lake Forest is right there, it makes it very easy for these guys to get back and forth. And we've had Kevin Butler making the rounds recently at the high schools, as everybody knows, his DUI charge and the fact that he now has community service work. He has been hitting some of the high schools in the area to talk to the students at Mundelein High School a couple of weeks ago. Wilson on the carry for a couple across the 40 to the 41.
It's not to say that Kevin Butler was right in what he did, but I tell you what, if there was ever a nice guy, it's Kevin Butler, and at least all the schools up there get the benefit by his mistake. But Kevin Butler, truly a great guy.
He's unusual as a kicker that he's one of the guys, isn't he?
He definitely is.
Part of the team. That's very unusual today.
Guy's done a lot for that ball club in the past. He's really earned the respect of everybody on that team.
Although I think that he's getting a little older and hurt every once in a while. He doesn't headbutt nearly as much as he used to. We haven't seen any headbutting out here tonight yet.
Steve Chester on the tackle.
John Staccato on the carry. And boy, I tell you what, Staccato got drilled into the ground on that tackle.
Frustration, perhaps. I mean, it's getting late. They realize that the Forests are doing a good job of hanging on to the football. There you see the story right now. 24-10 our score, 1:09 left in the game.
I would imagine that whether you play them again, these teams would face each other again this year, or whether they'd meet again next year. You always like to leave a little remembrance to one of your opposing players as watch out for me next time.
Well, the Force took the earlier meeting this season. Won that game by a score of 14-2. And they'll take this meeting right now. 24-10. They lead it. They'll remain unbeaten. Excuse me. They'll up their record once again. 10-1 on the season. Not a bad job for a bunch of guys that got to come off work and try to make it to practice on time and get in a couple of nights a week.
Not a bad job for a mess of old guys.
Stramalia for the pass. Complete on the outside. Williams catches it at the 40-yard line.
Did you see that pass Stramalia threw? What an
Pretty
arm.
good backup quarterback.
What do you
have on your team?
Yeah, the team's punter, the team's backup quarterback, the team's leading wide receiver.
Not too bad. It was a beautiful pass off his punt, and see him throw the ball there. Nice spiral.
And he puts on all the face masks on the helmets in the off season. It's unbelievable.
$33 left in the ball game.
Is he the only Stramalia playing now? I know
Yes.
There's 4 or 5 boys.
The other three have decided to call it quits.
Don's the oldest, isn't he?
Donnie is the oldest, and the other three don't play any longer. And he also had a cousin that played originally. I was on a team with Don Stramalia back in the late 70s, along with his brother Bob and his cousin Frankie. Quite an athletic family. Well, guys, this one's just about over, I guess. Go ahead, Max, sing.
We heard you earlier clearing your throat.
Singing now when it's,
I guess the party is over.
It took you too long to clear your throat. We heard you out there earlier, but you waited. 24-10 our final score. We'll wrap this one up when we come back. Let's see, Burgess had the 32-yard touchdown.
All right, let's come up in 15 seconds to camera 1. In 10. In 5.
Go ahead, Ed.
4. 3, 2, up on 1 and Q.
24-10 our final score. Force beat the Vikings. They up their record now to 10-1 overall, while the Vikings drop to 7-5 on the season. Let's recap this real quick. It was 17-7 at halftime, and at the 3:09 mark of the third quarter, Burgess scored on a 32-yard play that made it 17-10 for the Force. They led it by 7 at that point. And then Jones scored in the fourth quarter at the 12:02 mark to make it 24-10. And the Force able to up their record. There you see the Vikings leaving the field right now. Once again, the Force moved to 10-1 overall, while the Vikings dropped to 7-5. And guys, any last thoughts? It was just a beautiful night for football and not a bad game. A good second half.
I guess we should say, let's see what we can do next year when the Lake County Vikings meet the Palos Orland Force.
Good to be with you, Chip.
Hey, nice having you guys along.
Nice
come on up and join us up in Libertyville and Round Lake if we catch a game next year. Come on up and see us. Once again, I'd like to thank Mac Lewis on my far left and Kevin Yall for helping me out with the ball game. I'm Chip Egan. I'd like to extend my thanks to everybody here at the Jones Intercable System at Orland Park for helping out in this broadcast. Once again, our final score: Force beat the Vikings 24-10. For Mac Lewis and Kevin Yall, I'm Chip Egan. So long, everybody.